This is 1992, man. This is the truth behind the beef between EPMD and the Wu Tang Clan. Oh yeah. This is like before the Wu Tang Clan even blew. You know, they was just forming and coming out, and it's hip hop, and they patterned themselves and made an enemy for themselves, or not an enemy, but they wanted to go for the top dogs and aim at them and take them down. And the top dogs out there were EPMD. They were the only real groups out there at this time, because in '92, most of the groups were breaking off or wasn't really coming, you know, with that hardcore grittiness. All the rap groups was pretty much like the hippies, like De La Soul, Tribe. So they wasn't really coming with that hardcore street. So the top dogs was EPMD at the time. And in New York, they was holding it down. Even Buckshot and what's his name, they wasn't really that big at the time. I Got You Open didn't even hit yet. So EPMD, they would just come through Staten. And when they would come through Staten Island, they do their shows, take over the whole Staten Island. They go to the Bronx, anywhere they go over there. And they from Long Island. They from like Brentwood, from over that area where Rakim and all them knew. But they all got mutual friends, and it's funny because how everybody know each other. Like Milk from Audio 2 knew this guy named Busy, and Busy was the hype man for Capadonna and Method Man at the time, and You God ended up taking his place. But Busy was more of a not a rap guy. He was the guy that like run out, yo, my man gonna do this, you know, come up making music with his mouth. But he was the promo guy. He's like Pain in the Ass was for Jay-Z. And people don't know what that is. That's the okay, I'm reloaded, that guy. So Busy ended up getting basically replaced by You God. I don't know what happened to him, but they all used to go to MC Lightning House, and that's where EPMD and like Eric Sermon and all them, they was cool with, you know, Audio 2. So and them dudes are still together, you know, like cool, like it ain't nothing. And they, because of the DJ, what's his name, K-Rock, MC Light DJ. So when they came through, it wasn't like they was wanting to fight. You know, Capadonna, Meth, and all those dudes, they just wanted to battle. They wanted to get it in. They wanted to show that they were the best. They was like, look, we the best lyricists out here. And without even talking to, like, you know how they all get together and say, hey man, this is what we think we gotta take out. They all individually had this competitive nature to go up against EPMD and the Hit Squad. They was already paired up. Meth had saw them at the show, and they told them, man, y'all gotta get out of here, man. This our show, this ours. Y'all could perform anywhere else, but y'all can't touch Staten Island, that's us. And once Meth said that and was like telling Redman that was there, everybody was there at that time. And he was telling that to the Hit Squad. And they were like almost laughing because they at that time they was deep. It was Dawes Effects, they had the Knuckleheads, Hurricane G, Redman's there. And Keith Murray wasn't there, thank God, because if he was there that day, he'd have probably bust somebody upside the head with a brick. But but they were they was just all on point, you know. And they was like looking like are these dudes for real? Like, who was these dudes? Like, they didn't even know them. They just looked at them like some, like, Meth had the blowout afro, half braided, half afro blowed out, and he out there, this our city, this our da. So Donna and you guys came out there and like, dude, we battle anybody. We battle anybody out here. Anybody touch the mic, they get massacred. So once that happened, man, it was on. Because Paris didn't want to step up on there, and they was looking like, okay, very nice, kids. You know, like, we got a show to do. We finna get paid. And Paris guys, they don't play, so, you know, it wasn't going to be no other. If it was going to be something else, it wasn't going to look good, but nobody else's stack. Because P and his crew rolled pretty thick. They had hitters. They wasn't just strolling through Staten Island. You know, they rolled pretty deep. So they did another show up in Staten. They had another show Staten. So they told the club promoter, like, look, we going on, we opening up for EPMD. And it was, I think they had Capadonna, and EPMD was supposed to do, this is when they had the headbanger. So K Solo was there, and he was having problems with EPMD. And they were getting ready to do the headbanger song, and then there was a crossover. They was gonna do that song. And K Solo came before everybody else, and he wanted to talk to Eric Sermon because he was mad about some money. And he was like, man, look, I ain't doing this show. Because we was supposed to do the song with Redman, and Redman didn't show up. So if Red wasn't going to be there, wasn't going to be no song with him and Redman. And all this other stuff that they were supposed to be doing. And he was a little salty about all that stuff. But that's a whole nother story. Y'all don't even know about that. But we'll save that for a K Solo versus EPMD. But it ties into the story because K Solo talked to Donna before this even happened. And Capadonna got up there, and when they came out to do their show, Capadonna got on the microphone and laced, I mean, straight laced a whole, felt like 15-minute rap. Just continuous bars after bars after bars after bars. So they was, ooh. Meth got up there and ripped the stage. Again, there was no Method Man, no Red Man, no nothing. Red Man showed up late. There was no K Solo nowhere around. And they did the headbanger. And they did it without K Solo. And they tore the party down, they ripped it, and then what's his name? P was like, yeah, man, y'all kind of tight. And Eric was like, yeah, man, y'all tight, man. If y'all want to sign with us, y'all want to get with the Hit Squad or something like that, come talk to me at the office. Eric was like, come talk to me. And then Paris was like, nah, talk to me. He was like, yeah, I already talked to Eric. Eric said, hit y'all up and blah, 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 blah. And Paris was like, nah, man, you need to talk to me. And a lot of people didn't know this, but this is why Capadonna wasn't in the Wu Tang right away. They liked Capadonna more than they liked anybody else out of Wu Tang that they heard flow. And they was like, this dude is sick. So at that time, he was Cappuccino the Great. So they was like, look, Cappuccino the Great, man, that dude is sick. So they was ready to sign him, but there was inner problems going on with EPMD. So Capadonna's getting ready to. Eric's going his way, and Parrish is basically doing his thing. So that's leading to another situation I was ready to go. So once Wu Tang is coming together and EPMD seemed to be falling apart, they was ready to do like an on stage battle concert where they was like, okay, they got Redman, we got Method Man. Any way they want to do it, we could do a battle. And they was gonna have Raekwon, and it was gonna be like the RZA and the GZA, one of them go up against EPMD, and for the Foosnickens, they had Old Dirty Bastard. They could put him in there with K Solo. Anyway, they was matching up. Like, they wanted to take EPMD down because EPMD had the city, and they wanted to get it. So when they came out, their style was patterned to be another version of EPMD but better. They wanted to take that spot, but they didn't get a chance to. It was basically giving it to them by default because EPMD ended up falling apart with the Hip Squad and the Def Squad. So when EPMD split, it came down to one type of situation. Once they split, Donna was left out there, not knowing any uncertainty of where he was going to land with his own individual deal. Then it became a better situation for him to go with the Wu Tang. But he missed the cut. He didn't get a chance to be on the album. But he ended up joining Wu Tang, but the album was already completed. So they decided they was going to bring Donna in, not on the Method Man project, but they brought Donna in on, what did they bring him in on? They introduced him with Ray and Ghost instead of bringing him in with Meth, because Meth album was, once they did the Wu-Tang album, they went straight into Meth, and it was Meth, Dirty album, and then they did Raekwon. The RZA was able to negotiate them individual deals because he knew once the success of the Wu-Tang album came out, there would be not enough money to split with all of them. It's like you can give the album this much money in budget, but it won't be enough. Each artist has raised their status quo to where they each can ask for a substantial amount of money, like 700,000 plus, almost each individual member. So it's best to go out and get your deal independently and get your money that way. And that's where he got them record deals from all the different record companies and negotiated, make sure they got a good deal. Russell Simmons got Method Man, and Dirty had his own label that took him, and Ray had his label. So all of them had their own independent deals, and it ultimately worked out for a while. And the RZA don't know what Donna wants to do. Is he gonna come join? And he was still trying to figure out what was going on with the EPMD situation. Like, they might get back together, and once he found out the situation, the Hit Squad's doing their thing, and now they got the Def Squad. Who's gonna pick up Capadonna? But Donna's don't want to go with Eric Sermon without Parrish, and don't want to go with Parrish without Eric. It's like both of these are all new companies now. It's like, I don't think this is gonna work. So now he's like, okay, the Wu-Tang is blowing up. And I need to be a part of that because they're my peoples. Like, I know them, know the RZA, know all them dudes. So for me, it makes more sense to do this way. So he decided to go ahead and sign with the RZA. And by the time he signed with the RZA, they can only bring him out and on Ray's album, because they were still working on Ray's album when they signed him. Dirty album was completed. Meth album was done. Because what the RZA did was get everybody individual contracts after they completed the 36 Chambers. And it became such a big hit that all the artists' value went up so high that no matter how much money they gave to the album, it wouldn't be enough to cover all 8, 9, 10 Wu Tang members that's in the group. They all are too big for one album, so they have to get individual deals in order to be able to get the type of money that they would want to achieve. So to get them individual deals and contracts was a genius idea, to make them all individual artists, so that the people get to see them or experience their flavor and their own style and like them all had a spotlight. So when this happened, Capadonna was going to be just in time to work with Ray and Ghost. And it seemed like the perfect match. You know, to put him on stage with Ray and Ghost, who he was kind of familiar with through Power, with Ray and all them. And then when those three, they just mesh better than anybody. Like Ghost and Ray, when they rap on the track, they vibe real good together. It's like a perfect combination fit because of the way they tell the stories. They're more the street guys out of the whole group. Like, they are rugged, raw street. Like, the whole thing. So, when those two get together, they can vibe off each other. And with Donna in the mix, he could see what style they using or where they going and just go off that. And he got a flow pattern that's from like a more of an old school cat that know the game and can spit it almost better than anybody in there. That's why the song Ice Cream became such a monster smash. Donna comes in and kills that song. So after this, you know, Parrish is really, you know, they focus has changed. Like, it's no more the battle between EPMD and Wu Tang. Like, they can't even battle Def Squad. That wouldn't even be cool. And at the time, nobody was really dealing with Parrish because, you know, they was talking about the way the split happened and this and that. Everybody was kind of keeping their distance from working with Parrish. And that was making P feel a certain way. And Daz Effects and who else did Eric have? Yeah, Daz Effects, and I think that was about it. Everybody else went with Eric. Like, Keith Murray and Redman wanted to stick with Eric. And they just felt Eric's the one who got the beats. This the guy I need to be with. You know, he's getting his own label. We gonna ride with, you know, they gonna ride with him. And the only one, Daz Effects, is the only one that went with Parrish. So Dust Squad ended up working with Wu Tang. Def Squad ended up working with Wu Tang on some Method Man and Redman being both on Def Jam. And first they were like, oh, we ain't finna work together like that. But they used them in cross promotions, like for their albums. It'd be the Month of the Man, Redman, Method Man. And everybody be thinking an album's coming, but it wouldn't be. And then they had the idea to put them on the song together for How High. And kind of the way they met and hung out was almost like the way they did it in the movie. You know, one of them had a blunt, the other one had the weed, and it was like, hey, you want to smoke? Let's go. And they smoked, and then they started like rapping and hanging out, and they were both found out they were the same type of dudes. And ever since then, it was been like we brothers. So to say anything else would just be milking it. So the beef is really done. That was it. No real beef. Just, and when EPMD merged back together, one of the first things they did, they collaborated with Wu Tang and made the Symphony 2000. That song is genius. I mean, that's one of my favorite songs on that album was Wu Tang and EPMD on the same track. And I mean, that's classic. You ain't gonna get it no better than that. So on that note, we close this chapter. Deuces.